Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to lesson number 6. Right, let's start off then. So ma'ani is the plural of ma'na, which means matter, so matters. Naqida, this is ismul fa'il of naqad, which means to break or nullify, and break or nullify. Wudu is wudu, kullu means all. Ma is mawsul, which means what. And kharaja is from bab kharaja yakhruju. Okay, kharaja yakhruju, which means to exit, to come out. Then sabilain is times 2 of sabil, okay, which means a path, passage. So here passage. Dam is blood. Qayh is pus. Sadid is serum. Okay, pus, blood and serum is kind of liquids that come out of wounds. Kharaja, again we've done that. Badan, it means the body. Tajawaza, okay, tajawaza is from bab mufa'ala. Tajawaza yatajawazu, it means to exceed, to go beyond, and it's single, masculine. Tajawaza, madi, past tense. Ila mawdu', it means a place. Yalhaquhu, so it means lahiqa yalhaqu, which is from the bab sami'a yasma'u, okay, and it means, has the meaning of to gain or to join. Hukm at-tathhir, hukm is the ruling. At-tathhir, it means purifying, it's purifying. Al-qay, this is vomit. إذا كان ملء, it means full. And mouth is fam, or fam, mouth. Naum is sleep. Mudtaji'an is lying down. Muttaki'an is reclining, to recline. Mustanidan is to rest against. Okay, so muttaji'an, muttaki'an, mustanidan, all of these are ismul fa'il. Ila shay'in, shay means something. Law uzila, okay, it's majhul of azala yuzilu izalatan, okay, which here it means was removed. So yes, not was, okay, removed. La saqata is fi'l madi. Saqata yasqutu means to drop, okay, past masculine. Anhu, from it. Lo anhu, and the hu zamir goes back to shay. Okay, ghalaba is to overwhelm. Aql means sanity or intellect, or actually better translation that would be Aql, it means intellect or to be conscious. Okay, the conscious. Ighma, it means to faint. Junoon, it means insanity. Qahqaha, it means laughing out loud, to laugh loud or aloud. في كل صلاة, it means prayers, salat. And ruku is bowing, and sujood is prostration. Okay, so that's basically the meanings of these words. Now let's look into the Arabic, the grammar aspect of it. Alright, so al-ma'ani, wow, ataf. Al-ma'ani, this could be isti'naf as well, wow, for beginning a new sentence. Anyway, al-ma'ani, okay, this is the mawsuf. Okay, so you have the mawsuf, and then this is the sifa. Al-ma'ani al-naqidatu. Now here you can't see the vowel because this is a word which is naqis, and therefore the vowel doesn't appear except in the state of fatah. So here the sifa would be al-ma'ani al-naqidatu lil harf al-jar, and so we give this a kasra al-wudu'i, and then all of this would in fact become the mubtada. Okay, all of that would become the mubtada, and then the rest of it, the whole of this is the khabar. Okay, so let's get on with this then. So al-ma'ani al-naqidatu lil wudu'i kullu. Okay, so this is mudaf, and then ma kharaja min as-sabilain, all of this would be the mudaf ilayhi. So you'd put mudaf ilayhi. Okay, now let's have a look at these words then. So mudaf, ma kharaja, ma is mawsul, and the mawsul, it requires sila. So all of this would be the sila of the mawsul. Kharaja is a verb, fi'l. Okay, and huwa side of it, huwa, which goes back to it, the ma, min as-sabilain, from the sabilain. So because of harf al-jar, this would be pronounced sabilaini because of the rule of dual. Right, normally you would say as-sabilani, sabilani, and because of the harf al-jar, it gives it this it puts it in the kasra state, which is pronounced like this. Okay, so that's the first thing, and so all of that is a sila, and that's the mawsul. Sila mawsul becomes the mudaf ilayha of mudaf. Right, next, wad-damu wal-qayhu was-sadidu. Damu wal-qayhu was-sadidu. All of these are ataf, and this is also ataf onto this then. So then blood, qayh, sadid. Blood is blood. Okay, qayh is pus, sometimes it's translated as serum, and sadid is serum. So blood, qayh and sadid. إذا خرج, when kharaja, they exit, or it exits, it goes back to it. In other words, the blood, qayh or sadid. من البدن حرف الجر, so this is pronounced حرف الجر, من البدن. فتجاوز, فتجاوز, this is صيغة ماضي, and the huwa, again inside of it, the huwa goes back to the blood or the pus or the serum. إلى حرف الجر, and موضع, okay, because of the kasra. يلحقه, okay, this is a fi'l, and the hu goes back to موضع, okay, goes back to موضع over there, and the fa'il of يلحقه is حكم التطهير. مضاف and mudaf ilay, both of them become the fa'il of yalhaquhu, and then all of this, okay, in fact becomes the sifa of mawdi, and that's how you translate it as to such a place that the ruling of purifying joins it, or is gained, joins it. Wal qay, okay, next, qay, vomit, qay'u. إذا كان ملء الفم, إذا كان, so the ism of kana is qay, huwa, and the khabar of kana mil'a al-fami, mudaf and mudaf ilayhi. Okay, والنوم مضطجعا, this is نوم حال. Okay, نوم مضطجعا or متكئا, again it's another حال, it's another حال. إلى شيء, to such a thing. لو أزيل, أزيل, that if it was removed, أزيل مجهول, صيغة مجهول goes back to شيء. لسقط, it would have fallen. The huwa, so the naib file of أزيل goes back to شيء. And لسقط, the sleeping person is the, and here it's also written that naib, the sleeping person would have fallen anhu, from it, and that it goes back to shay. Okay, so what does it translate as? That they sleep in these states, ila shay'in, in states, reclines on such a thing that if it was to be moved, la saqata anhu, then he would have fallen from it. Okay, so next, wal ghalabatu, and overwhelming, ala al-aqli, on the aql, bil igma'i, with igma', wal jununu, okay, and insanity, wal qahqahatu, fi kulli, so fi, and this is mudaf, and this is mudaf ilayhi, so salatin, kulli salatin, and then dhati, mudaf, okay, this is mudaf ilayhi, ruku'in, ruku'in, wa sujudin, okay, ataf on there, so dhati ruku'in has ruku' and sujud, and all of that becomes the sifa of salat, and then all of that becomes the mudaf ilayhi of kull, fi kulli salatin. Okay, hope that makes sense. Right, next let's look at the meanings, the lessons that we can. But before we go back to the lessons, let me just try and clarify this, the whole text itself. So here we have mubtada, and then all of this is the khabar. Okay, all of that right all the way down to the end, it becomes the khabar of the mubtada, and all of these atafs that you have over here, okay, let me try to highlight them. So you have كل ما خرج من سين والدم, okay, والقيح والصديد, okay, all of that, and والقيء والنوم والغلبة والجنون والقهقهة, okay, all of those عطف معطوف عليه become all of the khabar of the mubtada. Okay, so let's move on. So what are the lessons that we can learn from here? So let me break this all down for you to make it a bit more easier to be able to understand. So if we say that this is, here Imam Qudoori wants to explain to us what things break wudu, what things nullify wudu. So the things that nullify wudu, he lists them all over here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them into 7 things altogether that nullify the wudu. So I'll choose different colors for them. So one of them is there, okay, another one is all these. So all these 3 I've counted together, okay, in one, so that's all one. And then we have awal qay, that's all one. And then the sleeping, okay, we'll treat all the sleeping as one as well, so all comes in the sleeping. And ghalabatu ala al-aql, this is all one. And then junoon is another, and finally al-qahqahatu, okay, all of that is one. So altogether we have 7, and we're going to deal with 7 here, and then we'll see the rest how we get on. 6, 7. So these are 7 things that Imam Qudoori wants to explain to us or tell us about the breaking of wudu. So 7 things break your wudu. Alright, so what are they? Number 1, anything that comes out of the sabilain, the 2 passages. 2 passages refer to the passages where urine comes out from. Okay, so in other words, from the male genitals, from the female genitals, and the back passage where stool, okay, stool comes out from. Right, so in other words, anything that comes out of these 2 passages, the front passage of the genitals, which is in the males the penis, and the woman's, which is the vagina, or more specific the urethra, and then the anus, anything that comes out of there, whether it's urine or any other sort of fluid or liquid, then wudu will break. Okay, and even if it's gas, breaking wind, all of these things that come out of these two passages, anything at all, will break wudu. Right, next, number 2 is blood, pus and serum. If they come out of the body and they move to a place which has the ruling of purifying. What does this mean? Okay, let me just illustrate this for you so it makes much more sense. Right, so this is the human body. Imagine this is the human body. Right, now a person, Islamically, technically we have the ruling of washing the entire body if necessary. So if a person goes into the state of major ritual impurity, a person in the state of major ritual impurity, then a person would have to wash the entire body from head all the way to toe, the entire body, and this means that the entire body has the ruling of purifying. Okay, so Islamically you would have to purify your entire body from head to toe, all the skin around your body. This is the ruling. However, if a person has a wound on his body, so let me just for example, if I was to draw a wound over here, person had an operation or has some problem and they had a wound over here, then this wound that you have, okay, then the ruling of this wound would be that it does not have to be washed. Okay, because Sharia does not burden a person more than they can take. So this area would not have to be washed. In other words, it would be exempted from the ruling of purifying. So what the Hanafi scholars say is that if blood comes out the body, then it would have to exceed past the area of the wound. In other words, it would have to go beyond the area of the wound. Okay, beyond the area of the wound, which we know as flowing. It would have to flow naturally beyond the area of the wound to such an area which has the ruling of purifying. So all this blue area has the ruling of purifying. If blood was not stagnant and it began to move to this area, then what we say is that the wudu has broken. So as soon as the blood passes the borders of the wound onto the area of skin which is in blue, which has the ruling of purifying, then we say at this moment now a person requires to perform wudu. So that's the masala. The blood, pus or serum, it leaves the body and exceeds past a place, such a place which gains or joins the ruling of purifying. And that's what it means. So in other words, technically, if a person was to have a wound but the blood did not exceed past the wound and remained in the wound on its own, then the ruling of that is the wudu has not broken. Okay, next, number 3. So number 3 is the qay. Okay, vomit. إذا كان ملء الفم. Vomit if it's a mouthful. So a mouthful of vomit is something that breaks your wudu. If it's less than a mouthful, what's a mouthful? A mouthful is when a person is unable to control it. So if a person's unable to hold it in, then what the fuqaha or the jurists say is that this is equal to a mouthful of vomit, and hence wudu would break. If it's less than a mouthful, in other words, if you're able to control it, then the wudu will not break. Number 4, okay, sleeping in these 3 postures. Muttaji'an. Okay, let me give you an example. Okay, here's a picture, okay, of a little boy sleeping. So muttaji is basically lying down. So if you're lying down on your side, on your back, then this, or on your front even, this is considered to be idtija. Okay, muttaji. So lying down in this posture and going to sleep. If you go to sleep in this posture, then your wudu breaks. Number 2, muttaki'an. Muttaki'an is like this. Okay, this would be muttaki'an. Okay, so muttaki, would be reclining on something, resting, that you're not fully lying down, but you're resting so much so that one of the buttocks is raised from the ground, just like this man in this picture over here. So if one of the buttocks is raised and you go to sleep in that posture, then your wudu will break. Oh, mustanidan. Mustanid. Okay, so here's a picture of a boy resting against a tree. So this would be mustanidan. Mustanid means resting against, with their back against something. But in this condition, in this one, it says that ila shay'in, resting against such a thing that if this was to be removed, then the person would fall. So let's imagine this boy was asleep and he's against this tree, and someone was to remove this tree from there. Would that boy fall or not before he got up? If he fell, then that's a sign that his sleep is very deep, and so his wudu would have been considered to be broken. So these are the three states of sleeping that break wudu. Number 5, here we have ghalaba ala al-aql bil-ighma. So if a person faints, he's overwhelmed, his aql, his consciousness, and he sleeps, of course he's like we say knocked out, fainting would be something that breaks the wudu. Junoon, okay, insanity as well. So if a person, okay, loses his sanity, becomes insane, clinically insane, then that person wudu would also have considered to be broken. And finally, number 7 is laughing out loud. Now you see, the Hanafi scholars have 3 grades of laughing. One is the most intense, which we called qahqaha. Okay, is laughing out loud so that others can hear. So if others can hear you, or possibly even if there's no one there, but if someone was to be there, they could have heard you, then this is called qahqaha. Number 2 is dhihk. Okay, where you laugh but you can only hear yourself. Even if there was someone next to you, you could have only heard yourself. Alright. And finally there's tabassum, which is smiling. Okay, to smile. So what the fuqaha say is that this level, okay, would break your wudu and your salat both. This level would break your salat, and tabassum, okay, well, nothing wrong with tabassum, nothing will happen. Okay, so here it's talking about qahqaha, but it says in every such salat where there is a ruku and sujud. Is there any salat that doesn't have ruku and sujud? Yes. Here it's giving reference to the normal salat that we pray. It's saying as though that salatul janaza salat, salatul janaza is exempted, okay, which is funeral. There's no ruku in there, no sujood in there. So if a person was to laugh out loud in there, their wudu would not break. So in normal salats that we pray, 5 times salat, the farad and the sunnahs and the nafals, a wudu would break if a person was to laugh out loud. So these are the 7 things that Imam Qudoori mentions that will break your wudu. Hope that makes sense. Jazakumullah khair.